Hello and welcome to Financial Express and to Express Mobility. And today I have with me Mr. Vinod Aggarwal, who has a bunch of designations. He's the MD and CEO of Volvo Eicher Commercial Vehicles. He's also the president of SIAM, the president of ASDC. And that's precisely what we're going to be talking to him about today, skilling. Mr. Aggarwal, 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, I used to have an old ambassador. And I could just take a screwdriver, go to it, adjust the air fuel ratio, check the water, take out the carburetor, clean it, put it back. But today, if I open my car, I really don't know where to start, what to look at. There are too many wires, too many fuses, too many things to understand. And I would consider myself unskilled in today's scenario with electric vehicles and hybrid vehicles. So, with cars becoming more of computers on wheels now, is there a requirement that is matching it?
Absolutely. I think as the technology is advancing more and more, there are more and more electronics. So then you need to, all these cars need to be repaired by trained mechanics. I don't think they can be touched by the roadside mechanics or by other people.
Correct.
So they do need trained people.
Right.
And
So,
they need to know the technology, new technology, before they can start repairing.
so how is ASDC going about getting these skilled people? Because earlier you had anybody who could use a screwdriver becoming a roadside mechanic, but that is not possible today.
No, that's exactly the work that ASDC is doing, because recognizing that the auto industry is transforming a lot, and Government of India also has recognized that. Therefore, there are a lot of initiatives which Government of India also has taken. Industry has taken a lot of initiatives, and there are various other stakeholders who are there. So ASDC is collecting all these people together at one platform. Like today, it is the Partners Forum,
Yes.
which we call it. So we get all relevant people together, and that's what we are trying to build up, that common platform and common awareness and common agenda, that what needs to be done if we have to meet the skilling requirements of the industry.
Okay. But now we have multiple fuel requirements also. You have EVs, you have hybrids, you have CNG, biofuel, blended fuel, ethanol blending, everything coming in. I would think that is a very diverse skill set required. So how are you addressing that?
Yeah, industry is going through basically transformation.
Yes.
And the country is also going through a lot of change, like with the sustainability and decarbonization
Yes.
agenda. So as part of that agenda, there are new technologies. For example, electric vehicles are coming, or as you mentioned, biofuels are coming. There will be flexi-fuel vehicles which will need different engines.
Yes.
Then there are biogas-based fuels. Then there are more and more safety standards.
Yes.
There are more and more emission standards. So there is more and more digitalization.
Right.
So it means there are a lot of changes which are happening. Now we have to address each and every area. Therefore, ASDC, as you can say, the nodal agency which is responsible for skill development for the automotive industry.
Yes.
And this agency has been promoted by SIAM, FADA, ECMA,
Yes.
and Government of India, NSDC. So we have all the stakeholders, and then we take up the training or the skill building in each of the new technologies. And the process is we build up the qualification packs for each of the area. We have to write down that what are the new technologies, what are the learnings which are required for each technology.
Okay.
And for that we make a very good curriculum. And that curriculum again then is approved, which we call qualification pack. That is approved by National Council of for Vocational Educational Training, NCVT, which is a body of Ministry of Skill Development and Education.
Right.
So along with them, then the qualification packs are approved. Then based on those qualification packs, the training is imparted. And then of course we also have to create the trainers. So it's a training of the trainers, training of the assessors, we have to do the assessments, we have to certify the trainers, we have to make people employable in these new technologies. So it's a whole lot of task.
Right. What is the impact of technology? Now we have a lot of AI, ML, Industry 4.0 is happening, Internet of Things is there. What is the impact of technology on the specific skill sets? Because I would think that there are some jobs that were earlier human oriented now becoming redundant. So what is the impact you're seeing?
Lot of redeployment, retraining. Now you cannot remove people.
Yes.
People are already employed. We need to employ new people who have to be trained in the new skills, but the people who are already employed, they also have to be retrained. That's what we call upskilling, or you can say the retraining. So all these tasks are required, so that on one hand you retrain your existing workforce, on the other hand you create new workforce which is already trained in these new technologies. So it's a you can say very
right. I'm also seeing a lot of women now getting employed in the automotive space. Some companies like Tata Motors and all that, for example, in the factory, they have entire lines manned only by women. I'm sure even at Volvo, you'll have a lot of women.
That's very important. Diversity is very important, and
Yes.
all of us are encouraging diversity because women bring their own special skill sets, how to handle different situations. So they have, you can say, different way of managing, which is diverse, and they create that sort of you can say atmosphere in the shop floor or in the offices. So therefore, diversity is very important, and all of us are encouraging that.
I have to ask you the India versus China question also. China had a head start on us in the automotive space. They have huge automotive hubs, lot of workforce deployment there. But increasingly, the world is looking at India as a manufacturing hub, both in the component space as well as in the OEM auto space. So, how do you think we can cope up, and do we have the skill sets required for that?
It is happening slowly and steadily, and like for example, Government of India has the scheme of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Yes.
And then they have given a lot of incentives for coming out with the new technologies, investments in the new technologies, which are under PLI scheme. So these are all the schemes or the incentive programs which the government is running for the industry, by which you will get the new technologies, you will get the investments in the new technologies, and slowly and steadily more and more companies are looking at India. India is becoming a preferred destination. So I think the start has already happened. So we will soon catch up.
Okay. So the decade ahead is going to be India's decade?
Absolutely, it's going to be the India's century.
Right. One last question on the service network. Now, after sales and service is a very important part for all Indian OEMs. How are skill sets being managed over there? Because a lot of retraining and reskilling would be required over there.
Same, I think that is even more important because the customers, when they buy new cars or new vehicles which are built under with the new technology, now when they go to the service station,
Yes.
Unless the technician there knows that technology, he will not be able to repair. So there again, I think when we launch a new technology, I think the work starts happening at the very early stage. When at the concept stage itself, we start involving all the stakeholders from the industry side. Like for example, we start involving our dealer personnel at that time. For example, if we are going to develop a new technology, today itself we have to think how we will train our workshop mechanics. It is not that after we develop the vehicle and after we launch the vehicle, then we start thinking of training, because then it won't happen.
Right.
So it has to start simultaneously, and then it is done. There is a team which is specifically assigned for doing this task, and the ASDC is providing impetus to all these initiatives. They are also helping us in pushing this initiative forward.
Okay. And what kind of investment is coming in from the companies? I'm sure they're all investing a percentage of their funds in training. So what kind of investment are you?
Investments are required, but investments are not very high in skilling. It's more of dedication.
Right.
It's more of mindset. It's more of putting the importance on this area.
Right.
I won't say that it's a very heavy investment, that training is the direction, it's the mindset of the company. I think investments they can be managed. If we have the strong willpower that this training is important and skilling is important, which of course is important.
Right.
So investments will never be the hurdle, or they will not become the limiting factor.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Aggarwal, for speaking to Express Mobility. Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.